Let's get into question 6 from the Edexcel 2023 paper 1. Welcome back to day 6 of this series where I go over one exam question per day for 14 days to really help with your revision. You can definitely fit in one question per day and you'll be surprised at the result that it gives you. Now this question is the perfect test of your main log laws, but there is one log law that it doesn't test, and it's one that you'll be surprised that you always forget. So stick with me to the very end because I've created a bonus A-star question that tests this forgotten log law. Let's see if you can spot it. So this is a pretty classic logs question. It's testing your main log laws and it's asking you to write one log in terms of other logs basically, and it's called those other logs A and B. The main log laws I'm going to write down here so we can reference them. You can see we've got the multiplication law that if it's multiplied inside the log, you can turn it into two logs together. Division then turns into two logs subtracted, and if there's a power on the thing inside of the log, you can bring that power to the front. So we're really looking to see if we can change things in terms of powers, if we can write things as two things multiplied together or divided. Let's look at it in those terms. So for part A, we've got log base 2, root x. Now we know we can write x to the power of a half, so we want a power there. We can use our power rule, and then because of our power rule, we can write this as half log base 2 x. So I've brought that power of the half to the front. And now we've got this in terms of a. So this is just half, because log base 2 is a, half a, and you're done with part 1. So that's quite easy. Part B is this expression here. So we're looking, can we turn this into something that has a power, a single power on this thing inside of here? Can we turn it into something that's multiplied or something that's divided? So hopefully you're thinking, I can factorize this, because if you can factorize something, factorize means two things times together or more than two. And that's what we're going to do here. So we've got log base 2, and then we've got x bracket x plus 8 all inside the log. So I've got two expressions multiplied together, and then we get log base 2x plus log base 2x plus 8. So I've taken the two things multiplied together and I've split it out because of the multiplication law into two logs. And as you can see, that turns into something really nice because log base 2x is a plus log base 2x plus 8, that's b. So we've got a plus b, nice and easy. Now part C is a little bit trickier. There's a lot of different ways that you could do part C. Here, I would be thinking, how can I write these as two things multiplied together or two things divided by each other? And so I'm going to try and put this into a single fraction so that I can have a numerator and denominator. And then I've got something divided by something else. I'm going to write this as 8x over x because that's just 8 plus 64 over x. We've got a common denominator. Then that turns into log base 2, 8x plus 64 over x. Okay, great. So I've got something that is now divided. I can write this as log and then 8x plus 64 minus log base 2 of x. Now we know that one's a, so we've sorted this bit out. It's just this part that needs sorting out. So again, you need to think, can I write this as something where two things are multiplied, divided as a power? And again, I'll be thinking factorizing here because we can use the multiplication law. So that becomes log base 2, and then it's going to be 8, open brackets, 8x plus 8, minus, now I'm going to write this as a here, okay, and then I can rewrite this log as log base 2, 8, plus log base 2, x plus 8, minus a. So we're lucky we've got this as b, we've got this as a. Now, log base 2, 8, you could just type this into your calculator, but you can work this out. 2 to the power of what makes 8? That's the definition of a log. So 2 to the power of 3 makes 8. So this answer to that is 3. The final answer to part C is 3 plus b minus a. Okay, so now it's time for the hardest bonus question, the one you've probably forgotten. We have got express log base x 16x squared in terms of a. So this is difficult because now we've got something that isn't in base 2. All of these were in base 2, so it made it quite nice and easy. And the thing that you might have forgotten is the change of base formula. So for example, if we have log base a B, we want to turn that into something with a completely different base of our choosing, then that turns into log base C, so whatever we want C to be, of B, divided by log base C of A. So now they're both in this new base that we want them in. Okay, this is a law that I would highly recommend that you remember. There is a proof for it. I'm not going to go over that now. It's kind of a bit too long for this video, but that is what we need to be using. So if we're thinking about log base x of 16x squared, but we don't want the base to be x, we want it to be 2. So I'm going to use this change of base formula. So I'm going to say log base 2, I'm going to call my C2, 16x squared, over log base 2x, which is our a here. But that we know is a already. And the top bit here, we've got two things multiplied together. We've got 16 times x squared. So we've got log base 2 of 16 plus log base 2 of x squared all over, now that we can call that a, log base 2 of 16. So 2 to the power of what is 16? Well, 2 to the power of 4 is 16, so that becomes 4. Plus, now we can bring this power to the front using the power rule. So we've got log base 2x there, all over a. So now we're pretty much done. We've got 4 plus 2, log base 2x is a over a. You could leave it like this, or you could write it as 4 over a, it's 2a over a, which is just 2. Okay, and there we go, we've done. So if you're following along with this video and you think you like that extension, and you think you understand what to do, but actually in the exam you're still slipping up on marks that you know you should be getting, that's exactly why I've created my A-Level Maths Study Club. This is a monthly subscription where you get one live masterclass per week with me, where we focus exclusively on exam-style questions. So this is not teaching you new things from scratch. We are purely focusing on how do we get exam ready. If you're interested, I'll leave the link in the description. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 7. It'll be linked here if it's ready. Otherwise, subscribe so you don't miss it. Bye for now.